הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבר אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבר אחים גם יחד. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבר אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבר אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבר אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבר אחים גם יחד. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבר אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבר אחים גם יחד. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So exciting to see all of you here tonight, and I know you know that every now and again I like to do this, and I'm looking around the room and I'm thinking this would be a wonderful invitation for everyone to rise, look around the room, find a face you don't recognize, walk over and wish them Shabbat Shalom. No cheating, you can't talk to your relatives. And this has to be recorded as the first time ever in history that I invited people to do this, and then they stopped talking and returned to their seats all by themselves. It won't happen again. Yeah, that's I knew that one. Bim bom bim bidi bom bim bidi bim bim bom bim bom bim bidi bom bim bidi bim bim bom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom. Bom bim bidi bom bim bidi bim bim bom chiri bidi bidi bim bom bim bidi bom bim bidi bim bim bom. Let us sing unto God, sing unto God a new song. Let us sing unto God a new song. Yai, nai, 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 nai. Yai, nai, 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 nai. Yai, nai, 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 yai, nai, nai, nai. Yai, nai, 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 nai. Yai, nai, 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 nai. Lechu neranena l'Adonai, nariע לצור אישנו, נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו, בזמירות נריע לו. Let us sing unto God a new song. Let us sing unto God a new song. Yai, nai, nai, yai, nai, nai, yai, nai, nai. Yai, nai, 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 nai. Yai, nai, 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 yai, nai, nai, nai. Yai, nai, 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 nai. Yai, nai, 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 nai. Yai, nai, 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 nai. Yai, nai, nai. As we welcome Shabbat, I'm delighted to welcome the Binkason family onto the bima to light the Shabbat candles. There they are. Yeah, I knew they were somewhere, and they sort of blended in. And while they're coming up, I do want to say something very special is about to happen, but I will ask you guys to say, these candlesticks were?
How many grapes? Great. So.
So,
Great-grandmothers.
so very great.
Tyler's
And came from Kiev. Amazing. And they came from Kiev, that's right. All right, go ahead. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. So as these Shabbat lights light up our night, and they also open up a wonderful Shabbat of celebration for Tyler. We're all very excited. He is also very excited. There we go. Mazal tov. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor vezachor bedibur echad, ishmi'anu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem ultiferet velitchila, la 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 la, lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu venelcha. Ki mekor beracha. Merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. La 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 lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Itoreri, ki va'orech mi ori shir daberi. Kvod Adonai alaich nigla la 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 lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Boi veshalom ateret bala. Gam besimcha uvetzola. Toch emunei am segula. Boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela. La 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 lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Well, since you are already standing, please remain standing for the barakah. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yananai nai nai, yananai nai nai, yananai nai nai, yananai nai nai, yananai nai yananai, yananai nai nai, yananai nai nai, yananai nai nai. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Yananai nai nai, yananai nai nai, yananai nai nai, yananai nai nai, yananai nai yananai, yananai nai nai, yananai nai nai, yananai nai nai. Please be seated. As the weather gets nicer, we start getting ready for the summer and starting to dream of summer camps. For me, that always brings me back onto the hill at Camp Eisner, as it does a few people in this room as well. Rolling to dark, rolling to light, night becomes day, turns to night. Rolling to dark, rolling to light, night becomes day. day, day turns to night, rolling to dark, rolling to light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, velel or mipnei choshech, ve'o choshech mipnei or. Rolling to dark, rolling to light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Baruch atah Adonai hama'arif aravim, blessed are you Adonai, who brings on the evening. Day and night, show us the way, teaching us to number our days. When we rise, when we lie down, Ahavat Olam, Ki Hem Chayenu, Ve'orech Yameinu, Uvahem Negeh, Yomam V'Layla, Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Limadeta, Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Ki Hem Chayenu, Ve'orech Yameinu. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Israel. So we continue our service with the words of Shema. I invite you to rise if you are able. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Leolam, Leolam Va'ed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבניך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשובך ובקומך, וקשרתם לעוד על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת. Yai nai 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 yana nai nai yana nai 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 yai nai 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 yana nai 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 yai nai 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 yana nai nai yana nai 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 yai nai 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 yana nai 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 nai. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh. Nora tehilot oseh veleh, Nora tehilot oseh veleh, Adonai Melech leolam va'ed. Yai lai 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 yai lai yana lai 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 yai lai 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 yana lai 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 yai lai 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 yana lai lai yana lai 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 yai lai 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 yana lai 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 lai. Nora tehilot oseh tehilot oseh veleh, Adonai Melech leolam va'ed. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred and sorrow and pain. Ashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim. We continue our service with the words of Amidah. Would you please rise if you're able? Open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely, open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely, open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Adonai sefatai tiftach, upi yagid tehilatecha. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Adonai sefatai tiftach, upi yagid tehilatecha. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Open my heart to love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarai, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Agadol, Agibor ve'Anora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Koneh Akol, ve'Zocher Chazdei Avot ve'Imaot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גבר לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated as we continue our service with the words of Mishaberach, prayer for healing. We think of our members of our community, our loved ones, family and friends who struggle with illness at this time. We tonight are praying for health of Frank Murphy, Yosef ben Herschel Veruth, Alina Davis, Yitzhak Herschel ben Meir, Dennis McGlivitt, Jill McGlivitt, Harold Stern, Nechama bat Drezia, Shimon ben Hermina, Tova bat Chana, Michael ben Chunan, Sabina Earl, and Mark Polter. Would you like to add other names to our prayer for healing? Baruch Ata Adonai, Rofei HaCholim, blessed are you, Adonai, who sends healing to those who are in need of healing. El narefanala, refuah shlema. El narefanala, let's heal this soul. Misheberat, Avram v'Sara, Yitzchak v'Rivka, Yaakov, Rachel v'Leah. El narefanala, refuah shlema. El narefanala, please heal this soul. With faith and love, together we bring hope and healing to those in need. Without judgment, without explanation, for we are all God's creation. El narefanala, refuah shlema. El narefanala, please heal this soul. El narefanala, refuah shlema. El narefanala, please heal this soul. We'll leave a few moments of silence at the end of Amidah for our private personal prayers to be offered at this time. Prayer for peace. Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen, ve'imru We are in this period between Pesach and Shavuot when we mark the passing of time by counting the omer, the sheaves of wheat, every night. It's a historic period reserved for a little bit of introspection and pondering. There are multiple traditions connected to this. Some are more mystical than others, but some are very practical. And so whichever version of this you're choosing to engage with, it has been a tradition of our people to count these days. And so we continue, Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Hayom 20 yom she'em shnei shavuot v'shisha yamim la'omer. Tonight begins the 20th day, which makes it 2 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. And may this period continue for all of us, bring all of us a little more peace and a little more calm in our lives. Now, I believe that my bima is being taken over tonight by all of these 4th and 5th graders who are in attendance. So come on up, guys.
Okay, so I'm Jeffrey Levinson, and I'm proud to be teaching the 4th and 5th grade students with Roy Rock. Come on up, Roy. And our kids, I'm telling you, this year, dedicated to the core, learning this year Torah at the beginning of the year, in the middle of the year, learning about the prophets, and then in this last third of the year, they've been working on prayers. And Roy will explain the project and the students coming up and how they're going to present.
Where are the students?
They're all scattered around, dispersed. But they're going to come up. You want to come up at once, or
why don't they all come on up here?
Come on, kids. Rise, come on up.
Oh, suddenly they emerge from the walls.
There's more back there. Ezra, you want to join us too? We love it. Okay, cool. Road.
Okay. My name is Romy Back. I am also the 4th and 5th grade teacher. So we, as a class, made a project, and we had prayer journals, and basically, and we also read a book about tales, and we figured to combine the two and make a prayer journal, but also have some of our favorite tales from Jewish history, and to kind of come to as a class and kind of like see where we all stand and see like, oh, I like this and that kind of thing, but also just come with prayers. So I'm gonna pass out everyone's prayer book. And I have Ezra's right here. So
Can I just say something? This is perfect sense.
yes, it's
They're all here.
Woohoo!
okay. So I'm gonna just randomly name call one of you guys, okay? And you're gonna read me your page, okay? Okay, Simone. What does your first page say?
What prayer means to me. Being holy and respecting God.
Okay, then what second page?
My favorite Jewish tale, Noah's Ark.
Let's punch your
A little louder.
a little louder, come on. Can you show them the drawing? Coco? What page would you want to show? Do you want to share a page? What, share whatever page you like best.
My favorite part is also service time because I like how it is and there's a lot of honey. My
Sarah.
I am Sarah. 1,000 people are the same. Nothing falls into me. Words are wrong and stars.
And then Avery.
My favorite girl is a story.
And then Ezra here wrote, my favorite prayer is Modiani, and he also wrote it all in Hebrew, the whole prayer. He
Nice.
didn't ask for any help. I was actually shocked. Great job. So that's basically our prayer journal, guys. They drew in it, they colored, we worked really hard and for weeks, and it kind of is something special to them.
Thank you, guys. Now, are they doing it or are you doing it? You. Okay. All right. So if there are more kids of different ages, as you know, one of the traditions here in the service is instead of a sermon, we have a story. There we go. So come on up, have a seat. Oh.
So for me, the favorite one to share was my prayer, and it was about my adorable dog.
Nice. Thank you. Okay. Everybody got a chance to share? Okay. So let's have everyone have a seat. You guys have a seat, but facing this way. Jeff, you take over. I'm just going to get out of your way, and if there are other kids, you may want to come a little closer as well. Yeah, please. No, that's exactly what it's there for.
Okay, well, you know, it's still.
That's it. Well, the only thing is we need to make sure that people at home can hear you as well. So I'll move the microphone a little closer to you. There we go.
Can everyone hear us now?
Excellent.
Hi.
Yes. Perfect.
Hi. All right. So
I feel like there was more kids in the room.
there were, and they all went back. Where's this
They all went back. No one's allowed.
All right, I'll look down into here. Any adults want to come sit on the floor? I actually did that today in my classroom, so please don't be shy about doing that. Come on up. Yeah. All right. Awesome. So, I like it. There we go. Okay, seriously. All right, cool. Hello. Rafi, you want to join us? I called you out, that's right. Okay, so hi, this is dedicated to Tyler, because it's his weekend. Woo! That is your brother, Sarah. You know it is. Absolutely. All right. Okay, so the book is called A Sack Full of Feathers, and it's written by Debbie Waldman and Cindy Revell. In the village of Olenek lived a boy named Yankel who loved to tell stories. Not his own stories, mind you. Yankel found other people's stories far more interesting. And because his father owned the village store, and the store was where everyone gathered to trade news, Yankel was able to overhear many stories, which he took great pride in repeating. Oi! Can you believe what I did? Reb Wolf was laughing so loudly he could barely get the words out of his mouth. What? What did you do this time? The men pressed closer to the baker, eager for more. I lost my glasses again. Reb Wolf paused and let out such a thunderous whoop that Yankel dropped his broom. And so I put salt in the rugula, not sugar. Salt! Like stones those rugula would have tasted. The men erupted in laughter. You want to laugh? There you go. Okay. That's nothing, one called out. My wife's rugula tastes like candle wax. And another piped up, my wife's tastes like old shoes. Can you believe they've talked this way?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I would never talk that way about my wife's rugula. All right. Yankel slipped out of the door to tell his friends the latest news. So he never heard the end of the story, where Reb Wolf told the men how his wife discovered a mistake and made him throw away the dough. Even the chickens wouldn't eat it, he said. At the schoolyard, Yankel was so busy telling his latest story, they didn't see the rabbi standing nearby. That's crazy, Reb Wolf, Yankel said. He put salt in the rugula, not sugar. Salt, imagine that. Those rugula taste like stones. Yuck. Yankel's friends said to each other, I'll never eat anything from Rev Wolf's bakery again. Returning to the store that afternoon, Yankel hurried past the bakery. He didn't notice the customers crowded inside or the rabbi standing by the door, biting into rugula so sweet and tender, it all but melted in their mouths. Back at the store, Yankel was dusting the shelves when he heard a commotion by the fabrics. Turning, he watched fascinatingly as Freya Selinsky tried to grab a bolt of blue fabric from Rifki Meisel's hand. He was out of the shop so quickly that it was long gone before Rifki and Freya agreed that perhaps they could share the cloth. They apologized to each other and together carried the fabric to the front of the store. Meanwhile, at the schoolyard, Yankel's friends gathered around him. Freya Selinsky lives next to me, Yossi Bergman said. She yelled at my dog once for barking. She's mean. That's what I'm saying, Yankel says. You've never seen anything like it. They're fighting like cats. He waved his hands wildly and made loud, shrieking noise. The boys joined in. Soon their commotion could be heard clear across the schoolyard, which is where the rabbis happened to be taking the afternoon stroll. When Yankel returned to the store, his father greeted him. Yankel, where have you been? He asked, handing him a dust rag. I found this on the counter by the fabrics. Yankel took the dust rag and wandered to the other side of the store. There, beautiful Tova Fleischer. You know Tova. Tova Fleischer, the butcher's daughter, lovingly fingered a lace tablecloth. Up behind her came Levi Weinberg, the cobbler's son. Levi slipped his arms around Tova. She looked over her shoulder and laughed. Levi lifted the tablecloth out of her hands and draped it over her head so she looked like a bride. Thank you. As he stood smiling, she walked around him the way the bride would circle her groom at a wedding. Then Levi pulled Tova to him and gave him a kiss. She kissed him back. Yankel couldn't believe his eyes. Wasn't Tova supposed to marry the rabbi's nephew? Hadn't he heard that in last week's in the store? Of course he had. He told all of his friends. Dropping his rag, Yankel hurried toward the door. He'd almost reached the schoolyard when he felt a hand on his shoulder. Finished with your dusting, Yankel? The rabbi asked. Yes, sir, he said. The rabbi looked at him sternly. No, sir, Yankel said, looking down at his feet. Where were you going in such a hurry then? Yankel swallowed. The rabbi waited. I saw Levi Weinberg kissing Tova Fleischer. Yankel said finally, I wanted to tell my friends. Just as last week you told them that Tova was marrying my nephew, the rabbi said. Yankel was confused. How did the rabbi know what he was telling his friends? Stories spread, Yankel, the rabbi said. You tell your friends, and your friends talk to each other. People over here, and the story goes where it goes. My nephew is marrying a lovely girl from another village. How do you think his bride would feel if she heard that he was marrying Tova? Look at that. The rabbi didn't wait for an answer. They had arrived at his house, and he was reaching for a brown sack from a corner near the door. I have a job for you, he said, presenting the sack to Yankel. Yankel peered inside. This sack is full of feathers. Yankel peered inside again. It's definitely all just feathers. Indeed it is. What is this? All I want to do, the rabbi said, is for you to put a feather on every doorstep in the village. On every doorstep, a feather? Ben's confused. I am too. A feather on every doorstep. But why? You'll understand soon enough. It was late in the afternoon, and as Yankel laid a feather on the doorstep of his father's store, he watched the men gather by the window. He tried to make out what they were saying, but a breeze stirred in the feathers in the sack, and he was reminded of his task. The next stop was Freya Selinsky's house. He hurried through the front gate and dropped the feather, not even bothered to see where it landed. He did the same thing at the houses of Levi Weinberg, Mendel the butcher, and Rabbi Wolf. Then came to Rifki Meisel's house, and he saw it through the window, heard back to him, and he sat down a feather and ran. On his way back to the rabbi's house, Yankel worried what story would tell his schoolmates tomorrow. If only he could stop at the store. He was so wrapped up in his thoughts that he barely felt a gust of wind that sent a cloud of feathers swirling behind him up into the sky. See it? I know. The rabbi was waiting for Yankel. "That's a good boy," he said when Yankel held out the empty sack. "Now I want you to go get all the feathers and put them back in the sack and bring them here to me." "Excuse me, Rabbi?" "Go and get all the feathers and bring them back. Hurry, Yankel, for soon it will be dark and the feathers will be hard to find." "Bring back the feathers?" Yankel asked. "Go," the rabbi said, nudging him out the door. Yankel felt as someone had tied his stomach in knots. How could he ever find the feathers before dark? And even if he did, how would he have the time to find a story to tell his friends tomorrow? "Yankel Leibovich, what are you doing?" Yankel looked up from Friar Slinsky's hedge to see her staring down at him, large and imposing. "I'm looking for a feather," he explained. "Are you crazy?" she asked. "What do you need a feather for? Your mother has feathers in the pillows at your house. I have feathers on my chickens in my coop. You want a feather? I'll get you a feather." No, Yankel said. "Not any feather. A feather I left here earlier today." "Any feather you would have left here a long time would have blown away a long time ago, Yankel Leibovich. Why would you leave a feather on my doorstep anyway?" "The rabbi told me to," Yankel said. "Are you telling me a story, Yankel?" No, Yankel stammered. "I'm telling you the truth. But if your feather's gone, then I must go too, for I have many feathers to find before the sun sets." And off he went, down the road to the Weinberg house. "Yankel Leibovich, what are you doing here?" Levi Weinberger's voice was so surprised, Yankel, that he slipped a rock he'd been standing on, landing in a cold, dirty puddle. "I'm looking for a feather I left here earlier today," Yankel replied, trying to shake the water from his coat and trousers. "I never saw a feather. If you wanted me to have a feather, why didn't you just knock on the door and hand it to me?" "The rabbi told me to leave it on your doorstep," Yankel explained. "Why on my doorstep? What's this about a feather?" "Not just your doorstep, everyone's doorstep. I don't know why, but the rabbi said I must do it, so I must. And if your feather's gone, then I must go too, for I have many feathers to find before the sun sets." At the home of Mendel the butcher, Tova's father, Yankel tripped on a loose cobblestone and tore his trousers, and he didn't find a feather. At the home of Reb Wolf, he had to fight off hungry cats who he thought was after their food. He didn't find a feather. At the home of Rifki Meisel, he thought he found a feather, but when he got closer, he saw it was a dead bird. Ew. Killed, no doubt, by Reb Wolf's cats. By that time, Yankel returned to the rabbi's house. The sun had set. A full moon lit the sky. The silvery stars looked almost like feathers as they had lost that afternoon. He was tired. He was hungry. He was wet. He was scratched. And he was very, very unhappy. The rabbi, on the hand, was pleased to see him. "Yankela, you've returned. Show me what you have." Yankel had turned the sack upside down and shook it. Nothing came out. Nothing, empty. He turned it inside out just to be certain. "I found no feathers, Rabbi," he said. I looked, and he pointed to the tear in his trousers and the mud stains on his coat. In this case, the rabbi doubted his effort. "They're gone. I can't get them back." "And so it was with the stories you spread, Yankela," the rabbi said, motioning Yankel to the table, where a bowl of steaming soup and a thick slice of bread and a plate of rugula awaited him. "Once you tell a story, you can't take it back. It goes where it goes, and you can't say where, how, or when. Think of that time you tell a story, Yankel, and make sure the next story you tell is your own." Yankel finished his soup, his bread, and he ate all the rugula, which seemed unusually tender and sweet. He thanked the rabbi for the lesson and went out to the road. And as he made his way back home, he knew just what a story he would tell his schoolmates the next day. The story of how a boy who went looking for feathers that had been blown away by the wind. Thank you for listening.
Poignant story and a reminder to all of us how much our words and certainly our stories matter. Now, we have a very exciting Shabbat. We have a few things in just a moment that will be a few words sharing with Tyler. And now I'm going to invite you to rise for Aleinu. Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכנו הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו echad. Please remain standing as we conclude our service with the words of Kaddish. We remember those whose yahrzeits occur this time of year. Tonight we remember Julius Foyer, uncle of Susan Pinsky-Bleeks, Edward Rodriguez, brother of Sergio, Raymond Bildergreen, father of Wendy Sherman, Leonard Silk, father of Jim, Hy Farber, father of Len, Ed Blumenthal, stepfather of Meryl Farber, Eleanor Feldman, remembered by Marilyn Fishman, Faith Zakin, sister-in-law of Marilyn Fishman, Paul Rysanowski, father of Tanya Michelson, Joan Perkal Burns, mother of Melissa, Ida Kaplan, mother of Susan Floman, Bea Levedis, aunt of Phil Berkowitz, Anne Freed, mother of Rita Brieger, Martin Lifshitz, father of Barbara Klein, Milton Milstein, father of Robert, and Abraham Alpert, father of Jay. We also remember those who passed away in recent weeks and months: Michael Baranov, Grigory Farbman, John Marinelli, Julian Fleischman, David Pokras, Miriam Wexler, Fred Stephen Cohen, Phil Pivauer, Mildred Saltzman, Gail Corman, Paolo Ruben Rodriguez, Simon Sauberman, Susan Siegel, Nicholas Wolfson, Dory Berlin, and Scott Spiewak. Is there anyone else here observing a yahrzeit? Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may the memory of righteous endure for a blessing. May comfort come to all the mourners as we say the words of Kaddish together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divrach reuteh ve'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayeichon v'yomeichon v'chayei dechol beit Israel, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv ve'yimru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach la'alam u'la'almei almaya, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Israel, ve'yimru. Amen. Please be seated. Now, a few things. One is, it's our tradition to mark and celebrate the birthdays of the kids coming up in this coming month. And of course, for adults, we invite the adults to participate in our Torah service on the third Friday, where you get to have an aliyah or do another mitzvah. But for kids, this is a wonderful time reserved. But before we do that, I know technically his birthday happened to be in April, but Tyler did just turn 13 and is about to have a bar mitzvah. So we'll add him in there. Ezra has a birthday coming up this month. Lavender and Laurel have a birthday coming up this month. My 11th son has a birthday coming up this month. It also says here that she's going to be 7, and I'm not sure which one of us is more in denial about that. Any other birthdays that are happening in the month of May? Well, he's not a kid, but yes, that's right. And Scott has a birthday too. You guys, Olga has a birthday in the month of May too, but you know, she's a grown-up, so we talk about kids. You guys ready to sing? Yeah. All right, we can do Hayom Yom. Okay, there we go. Hayom Yom Uledet, Hayom Yom Uledet, Hayom Yom Uledet Lekulam. All right, okay, that's a very nice. I'll give you that. That's very good. Hayom Yom Uledet, Hayom Yom Uledet, Hayom Yom Uledet Lekulam. Hag Laem Sameach V'zer Laem Pareach, Hayom Yom Uledet Lekulam. Hag Laem Sameach V'zer Laem Pareach, Hayom Yom Uledet Lekulam. Nicely done. It was also this week Israel's birthday, 77, and so Mazal Tov to our country as well. Now, before we get to go, there is something very exciting happening. So, Lindsay, I think you are coming up, and I'm going to give you the microphone over there. And I think, Tyler, you have to come up.
Come on up.
All right. And I'm going to make sure that people at home can actually see this.
You ready, Rabbi?
Yes. I am.
All right. How you feeling? Nervous? I get it. I understand you're a hockey player. So you glide into this weekend like you do on ice. On behalf of the TE board, we have a few things to give you in honor of this big moment. First, you are unofficially a name tag wearing.
Woohoo!
An adult. We look forward to you staying as part of the community, as an active part of the TE community, and we welcome you into this stage. We also have for you your very own Kiddush cup that we hope you use to celebrate many moments throughout your life. And I have, on behalf of the Federation, the JCC gives you a little membership that you can use to have your own individual membership. So I understand you're an avid hockey fan and hockey player, and we're excited for all that you have coming up over the next few days. And it's wonderful to be able to celebrate as a community with you. So Mazel Tov and congratulations.
Mazal Tov. Thank you. All right. Janet.
Okay, so I wear many hats around here. First, I was honored to be Tyler's teacher this year. I needed to go get my hair colored this morning. Thank you. Just saying. I'm teasing. You know, Tyler got off to what I felt was like a little slow start, but after January, all of a sudden, it just all came into focus, and he's going to be amazing tomorrow. So excited. That's the teacher part. The official part that I'm really here is sisterhood. So Sisterhood has made a donation to our sister congregation in Israel to beautify their grounds. And so in your honor, we have made a donation to make Israel beautiful.
Very cool. Okay. Now, all right, guys, everybody rise.
He needs to get his.
Well, I have a copy. I have a copy here. We have our ways. We have our ways. No, that's not it. Where did my page go?
I got it. Just use the binder.
Okay, all right. If you have the binder, something has happened. Okay.
I'm going to step off.
You know what? Let's put it over here so that we don't knock anything off. Very good. Thank you, guys. Beautiful. All right, here's what we're going to do. You will hold this with your right hand, okay? And you're going to put your left hand over here. We gotcha.
Vayhi erev vayhi boker yom hashishi v'kulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'kol tzevam
Vaychal.
vaychal Elohim bayom hashvi'i mikol malakto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi'i mikol malakto asher asa vayhi'er Elohim et yom hashvi'i v'kadesh oto Kivu Shabbat mikol malakto asher baha Elohim aso. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. Shabbat kodsho v'ahava u'bratzon im kilanu zikaron l'maaseh bereishit ki hu yom tehillah me'ayit kodesh zecher l'ziyah mikitzayim kivanu Otanu kidashta mikol amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'b'ratzon im ke'otanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Shabbat.
Finish it. Very good. Yeah. Don't worry, it's only juice. No need to be nervous. If you have your kids here with you, if you would like to offer them a blessing, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisad Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the blessings of God surround all of you, and may you be gifted the gift of peace. And now, are you ready? Ta-da! Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Give each other a hug and a kiss if you know each other. There's an oneg waiting for us. Tyler will be leading the service tomorrow morning. If you're joining us online, in a moment you'll be able to visit with each other. Wish each other Shabbat shalom. Thank you all for being here. Shabbat shalom.